What's going on, guys? It's Wingser here. I'm bringing you guys a special video today. As you know, there's a Maplestory M patch update, the February update. Kind of late, but better than never. I mean, it's 226. There's still 2 days left of February, so that's not totally bad. So let's get started. I just wanted to do a quick rundown of the patch notes. I'm not too sure on how long this will be, but let's get started. So first update, we have Thunderbreaker skill Thunder God being added from 3rd skill to 4th skill. If I'm not mistaken, this is the chance to activate, I think it was like base 3% or something like that. So adding it to 4th job skill definitely should boost its damage. Not too sure. But yeah, let's keep going. So new content, Monster Carnival. For me, Monster Carnival is actually like one of the most funnest memories that I have for Maplestory, from the original Maplestory. I remember me and my best friend David, we would stay up all night and like we would twink out on Spearman. Like it sucked that Monster Carnival only lasted until around level 50 or 70, if I remember correctly. Dang, that was a while ago. But yeah, I'm hoping for a lot of good things about Monster Carnival. It looks like they have a level bracket of 100 through 130, 131 through 150, and 151 through 200. I'd imagine that the 130 through 150 bracket is where a lot of people are going to be falling under in the mid tier, and then a lot of the casual player base will probably be in the 100 through 130 range, and the hardcore players will be in the chaos. I'd imagine everyone in Chaos at least having a mythic item. I mean, if you're 151 without a mythic item, hats off to you. But I mean, this is the fun parts about Monster Carnival is basically it's like light PvP. It gives you a chance to battle other players and just to flex on them. And since we're all in an MMO, like we just want to flex on other people. Um, it looks like they're keeping things pretty much the same. So there's a bunch of normal monsters, and you get EXP. The difference between win, tie, loss. I'd be curious on how much EXP you gain per win and per loss and or tie. Because back in the day, there used to be this thing called win trading. Because Monster Carnival was one of the fastest ways to level up. Like you would just spawn the biggest guy, like this block guy, Rombot, and you would just mash on him, and you would literally gain probably a level each time, starting at level 30, and then it would go up to like 4. So you could literally grind from level 30 through level 50 in the matter of like a couple hours. This was back then when like 0.03 exp was worth a lot. Nowadays if you play regular GMS, it's not so much of a big deal. But yeah, so these protectors are up again. These actually make it a lot of fun because it adds a little more variability, especially when there's the physical defense up and magic defense up. So if you're trying to stack like 2 ice lightnings or something like that, this magic defense will stop you from doing any damage to all the mobs. So if you're trying to min-max a team, maybe consider putting 2 separate damage types on your team. But that shouldn't be too much of a big deal. I mean, it's a 2v2 scenario, and as long as you're attentive and you can break these crystals, you should be good. These rewards, I'm kind of interested. Giving access to more mysterious weapon and armor powder is always a good thing. The wheat stones is a good thing too. Gold leafs I'm not super excited about. It's whatever. Spiegelman necklaces, I mean, 1% crit damage. It's not the best, but you know, we'll take it. It's better than nothing. This improvements on equipment level up the refining powder. So I made a post on Reddit earlier today, basically breaking down the implications of this in regards to the economy. So level up material exp will increase. So basically what that means is that the amount of exp that you gain for this powder is gonna increase, which is super big. I already crunched numbers. Let me just move this over to my screen. And basically 380, this number here, that's the old value. So this is the value that weapon powders used to be at, and this is the value that the weapon powder is going to be giving now. So as you can see, it's it's about 15% or 0.142%. I got these values based off of the Luckish spreadsheet, and then I just basically I logged in and put in one epic powder into my level 1 epic item, and I saw how much the percent would gain. Before the update, it used to give 0.2049, and then or 20.49%, and now it gives 23.42%. So quite a big difference. So like nearly 15% if you round up. These are the values, the new updated values of how much weapon powder you'd need in order to upgrade your items. So weapon unique is 890, weapon legendary is 2743, weapon mythic is 6624, and then armors are 686, 2108, and 5095. As you can see, like, it's quite a substantial change. You need considerably less, almost 2,000 less powders in order to get a max mythic weapon. So yeah, if you have a chance to check out my Reddit post, I go pretty in depth about the impacts of the economy and how this makes it a lot better for free-to-play players. So elite dungeons increase the level up material drop rate. So when I first read this, I was kind of excited because I thought it meant that they're increasing the overall amount of weapon powders that drop. So basically 105 dungeon, it drops 3 at minimum. So I was hoping that this update would mean that it just bumps up to 4 instead of 3. But in actuality, it means that you have a higher chance of getting more powders. So basically the range for the 105 dungeons is 3 to 7. You're more likely to get the 5 through 7 range rather than the 3 through 4 range ish. Like, what sucks about these patch notes, there isn't any numbers, but that's still good. It should increase your average powder by at least 1, which is a lot. Like 5 powder. I run elite dungeons on 15 tunes, so that's an extra. What is that? That's an extra 60? No, 75 powders for me. Let me just do the math. So that's an extra 75 powders for me, just based off this update alone. So report system, as everyone knows in Maplestory, there's a lot of hackers lately. There's actually been a lot of inject hacking that's been pretty interesting. There's been like vac hacks and a lot more miso farmers, especially if you're at ST2, Sky Terrace 2. There's been a lot of farmers. So yeah, so this will help, because a lot of times, like, when you try to report someone, you can't target them, and then it's like, man, I can't even like report them. So second improvement, the amount of mesos that can be stored for each account will be adjusted per your highest character level. So this is interesting because, so right now, I think if you have a lower than level 100 character, you're not allowed to store more than a bill into your storage. So this will be cool because it should allow you to store more than a bill inside there, like regardless of your level. But I'm not too sure if this has like any negative impact, or if you can go over 2 bill in the storage. Like, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Active skills are available during auto battle. So Dark Knights, congrats, you guys get Beholder now, so you guys are actually a playable class. I have a Dark Knight and it's 115 or something like that. And man, the ability of Beholder is very noticeable. It's literally the thing that makes a class playable. So the fact that you have Beholder and you don't have to sign in every 5 minutes just to press the button is really helpful. The other ones aren't as exciting. Holy Fountain maybe. Yeah, the Ice Lightning Mage one's kind of just like a quality of life. I'm not really sure about the other classes, but yeah. I'd be curious on how strict or how often they cast these summonable things, because it would be kind of irritating if, for example, Dark Knight, if you did Dark Impel and then Beholder on an auto skill, and after every like 2 minutes it just does Beholder even though you have a 10-minute duration on it. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's better than nothing. This was kind of annoying. So actually, I'm not too sure what this is. Anyway, moving on. Character rebalancing. So as you know, they buffed a lot of classes. It's interesting because when it comes to Maple Story, there's like a bunch of things you can balance around. So end game wise is obviously what you'd want to balance around, and end game in Maple Story is breaks down to usually mobbing, like hardcore training, um, bossing, or that's pretty much it for right now in Maple Story. Soloing expeditions and all that. So I'm not sure what the philosophy is when they go around buffing classes. Maybe they just really listen to our feedback and go from there. These Dawn Warrior buffs, I'm not too sure. I don't really play Dawn Warrior. Wind Archer, I'm not too sure either. The Nightwalker buffs, a lot of people don't like the fact that none of it is based on like quad throw or anything like that. But the Adaptive Darkness buff is actually like pretty crucial. Nightwalkers, for those of you that don't know, they really suck at mobbing, and that's not why you play the class. You play the class in order to do a lot of high single target damage. And Adaptive Darkness is actually super good because it procs off your hits with your bats. And the fact that they're ramping it up at second, third, and fourth job, it's a lot. It's a lot of damage. Blaze Wizards. I currently run Elite Dungeons on Blaze Wizards, and I do feel like they were low in damage. So we'll have to see how these goes. Thunderbreaker, hashtag buff TB. That's already a meme, but looks good. I mean, we don't know numbers, so I'm literally just basing this off of information. And I'm assuming that this Thunder God change from third to fourth job is hopefully helpful. Ice Lightning Mage. It's interesting that they decided to buff Chain Lightning. A lot of Ice Lightning mages, especially at SF80, they hit the threshold of two chain lightnings, 2 to 3 chain lightnings to kill all the mobs. So 2 hitting basically, and chain lightning already stuns. It increases crit damage. It increases a lot of things, and even when you hit 4 job, it does more hits. So it's crazy. I think that they're just trying to all in on the new update. It's interesting that they decided to buff practically everything. Frozen Orb, super good. Blizzard, even better for farming. So they're literally one of the best. And your training from second and third job is going to go even smoother with Ice Strike and all that. Hero class. So this is really disappointing. They buff Puncture, which is your bleed thing, and that's only for bossing, but mainly you only care about your Intrepid Slash. The charge is really good. Not Intrepid Slash, sorry, the fourth job equivalent of Intrepid Slash. I forget what it's called. I think it's called Rapid Slash. Not sure. But yeah, I have a buddy that quit his hero, and he's pretty happy because these buffs are nowhere near anything to make the class something to bat an eye. Shadower. So when Shadower first came out, I wanted to main one. I wanted to play one really bad because I had a lot of fun with my Shadower back in the day. But the damage output and all that, like, is really lackluster. And the fact that Miso Explosion is single target and it kind of behaves kind of weird. I mean, I haven't played GMS Shadower in a really long time, so bear with me. But so they decided to only buff Assassinate. While this is a really good buff, like Assassinate's a single target skill and it focuses mainly on bossing. So I mean, if you're an endgame Shadower and you care about bossing more than anything else, this is probably super good. But it's not a buff that you'd consider swapping characters into a Shadower over this. So Evan nerfs. I mean, hashtag Evan story. Obviously, Evans were really busted. It's interesting that they decided to nerf Monoburst. Out of all your skills, for really good Evans, they weave in Monoburst, and while their dragon just does their dragon skills. So they kept majority of the dragon skills. I don't imagine you suffering too much from the Monoburst decrease because it's not even majority of your damage, it's just supplemental damage. So event Maple Amok, it's pretty much Connect 5. For those of you that don't know, it should be fun. I mean, they're giving 20 coins for win and 7 coins on tie, 5 on loss. That's actually quite a bit. And then we have the shop. You can buy each of these entrance tickets by 5 times each. And then there's shielding scrolls, which are really helpful. Like especially if you're a free to play player, like any of the shield scrolls and shielding ward scrolls, those are super important. So those are probably your high priority ones as a free to play player. The jewels are also pretty good. Red cubes, obviously, if you haven't gotten your potentials yet. I personally will be buying the elite dungeon tickets first because I care more about obtaining more powder. It'll just help me in the long run. Right now I don't really have a main. I'm just mainly focusing on setting up my account for a character that I really want to play. And new cash up stuff, I don't really care about that stuff right now. And then these bug fixes, it's interesting that Angel Ray was actually healing people, not part of your party. But yeah, so that's the patch rundown for the February update. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and catch you guys in the next one. Peace.